Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Today I have a special 15 card video for you today, and we're going to be using the Spellbinders September kit and the large and small die of the month. So I'm going to get started by just kind of quickly glossing over the contents of the kit because I'm sure you've seen it already, and we're going to jump right into card number one. So for card number one, I'm going to be using, actually for the first 10 cards, I'm going to be using the main Spellbinders kit for September. So I'm going to start by placing down my panels, and I'm going to do another one of my little groupings that I love to do, but I'm also going to mix in these stamps because I love this stamp set. It is absolutely perfect. So I'm going to place down a few little elements, pop some things up like the memory lane and the bicycle. I'm also going to stamp out "You Make Me Happy" on the top, and I'm using VersaFine Onyx Black ink for that. That ink works really well. One-time stamp, don't have to double stamp anything. So I'm going to pop up the memory lane. I'm going to pop up the bicycle. And I'm also going to pop up kind of part of that "Our Life" and glue the other part to the bicycle. And that's going to do it for card number one. Super simple, but I love that card. I think it's so pretty. There's a nice little close-up of that one. We're going to move on to card number two. So for card number two, I'm using one of the Fun Stampers Journey embossing folders. And this is just a simple white on white card. I'm going to pop up that panel with some fun foam. And before I place it on the fun foam, I'm going to remember to actually stamp my sentiment, and it is "You Are So Amazing." And this is a very simple card, but I think it came out really pretty. It's very elegant, I think. So now I'm going to place that right on top of that fun foam to pop it up. And then I'm just going to take 3 of the little stars from your little ephemera pack, and I'm going to place those right around my sentiment, along with some of the jewels. Not too many, just a few. I think I'm using like 3 and 3. And once I place those on, that's going to do it for this card. Very simple, but very, very pretty. And there's a close-up of that one. And on to card number 3. So for card number 3, I wanted to use some of the letters, and I also wanted to do something with the vellum. I love this panel and the colors, and they all go really well together. But I thought it was just a little too bright to do what I wanted to do to the outside. So to tone it down, I'm going to place a piece of light vellum on top. And I'm just going to poke some holes in the corners and use just some plain brads in each one of the corners to hold the vellum on. Just gives it just a little bit of extra. And then I'm going to work on my little grouping. And I've just got a couple of flowers and then the "You Are." I also cut out the word "amazing" out of that same blue paper that came in your kit that I used for my background panel. So it's that like navy blue color. I'm going to place my flowers in the middle and kind of group them. I'm going to pop up the "You Are," kind of half on the flower and half on the page. Place a little purple flower on there too for a little more color. And then I'm going to take the word "amazing" and I'm going to glue it straight down to the vellum. Then we're just going to do, I use a lot of gems. I love these little gems. They're so pretty. They have the gold flecks on top, which just makes them very elegant, and I just really like the way they look. So I use some of the blue ones, and that's going to complete this card. Nice close-up for you. And we'll move on to card number 4. So for card number 4, I wanted to do something manly. So I have my little grouping up there in the corner with the car and the clock and all that good stuff. So I also wanted to use this paper because I thought this paper was absolutely gorgeous and went really well with like a manly type card. So I just cut 3 strips, attached them to the center of the burgundy background paper, and then I am popping up a little gold panel and then the little off-white panel right on top of that. And then I'm going to place my little grouping. The clock is straight down, and then I pop up the rest, so the car is popped up, and so are the 2 little sentiments here on the side. Good things and running free. I'm also going to put nice little grouping of stars up at the top in that corner. And then I liked that gold arrow from the chipboard, that little chipboard pack of stickers that they gave us. So I'm going to take that gold arrow and I'm going to place it under the other tire, kind of pointing at the running free. And that's going to complete this card. Nice little manly card there. I really like this one. Next, I'm going to do another one of my groupings that I like to do. So I'm going to take a piece of the green paper from our paper pack. I also wanted to use the gold, but I didn't want to use up my gold, so I just cut a couple strips. Placed it on either side of that pink, and now I'm placing that in the middle. Then I'm going to make my little grouping here. So the only thing I did is I wanted to have this scarf kind of around my jar, so I cut the lid off of the other jar, and I'm going to pop it up just to kind of give it a little bit of dimension on the jar. And then I'm just going to place my little leaves all around it. I cut out a few more of the gold leaves. That leaf right there came in the what do you call it? The die set. Yep, that's what it's called, the die set. There's also some flowers in there too, but I didn't end up using the flower dies. I'm going to place my little butterfly, again with the stamp sentiment, love you friend, and I'm also going to use some of the strip sentiments on here. And then some more of the jewels. Love these jewels. I placed them all over all of my cards. I thought about using that bug up in the corner, but I changed my mind and went with the butterfly because I don't know. I mean, I think the bugs that came in here are pretty, but I'm not a bug person, so it was really hard for me to get into those little bugs that are in there. So on to card number 6, I'm going to do a shaker card. I'm trying to do a shaker and an interactive in each one of the videos, but because I did so many cards in this one, I didn't end up doing an interactive card. So here I'm just making a kind of a background to go. I wanted kind of a stormy background for my window. You'll see why. It didn't. It worked out fine, the background, but then I put the wrong shakers in here, so it wasn't very stormy looking. I really should have thought out what I was going to put inside the window a little bit better. But I doubled up my foam tape, and I'm going to wrap it right around the inside of this window. I've already placed the acetate on. And now, see, this doesn't look very stormy. It's very sparkly and shiny, and I should have gone with something a little bit darker and rainier, I guess. But it's still pretty. So there's my window. Now I'm going to work on the base of my card. So I'm going to place down it kind of looked like wallpaper to me, and then paneling on the bottom, and then I just took a strip of that blue-gray paper that came in your kit, place that right along the seam right there. Now I'm going to place my sentiment on the wood paneling, and I'm going to use the embossing ink and some VersaFine, the fine white embossing powder. I'm going to place my window right there, kind of in the middle, and then I got the umbrella and the little boots, and I'm going to kind of lean them, try to figure out how I want to place them here, but I'm just going to kind of lean them against the wall, pop them up. And then again, this time I'm going to use, these are sparkling clear gems, and these I got at Scrappiness. I'm going to leave links below to all of the dyes and the products that I used outside of the kit, just in case you guys want to pick up some of the same stuff that I was using. A lot of this stuff I got from Scrappiness, and she has really good prices, so I end up getting quite a bit from there. But for this one, I wanted to use the die set, and I'm going to make the letter board, and I messed up. So this is me showing you how I'm fixing my mess up. So I put down the frame first, and you're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to put down the panels first, and then build the frame around it. So what I did was I took a piece of fun foam, cut it to the inside of the frame, placed it down, and now I'm placing the panels, and then you're supposed to put the frame on after you put the panels down. I wasn't paying attention, so I did it backwards. But it's okay because I wanted to pop it up anyways, and this gave me an excuse to pop it up. So now I'm just going to glue on these little edges, which is, I know you can't see them, but they're there on my mat. And that covers all of your little corners there if they don't meet. And then instead of putting this on either side of the happy, I'm going to place it on this bottom one. And then I'm going to grab another one of those stars that came in the kit, and place it right in between those two leaves. And then I wanted something else on here. I wanted something with some color because I wanted it to pop. So you can see I have the books and the teacups on the side. And then I really just didn't want to cut down the books. So I'm going to take the teacups and place them on one side and kind of balance them. And then I've got a couple of leaves and the little purple flowers to go in that top corner just to balance out the card. And I think it looks pretty that way. So I'm going to put all three of those flowers up in that top corner. And pop up the third one. And that is going to do it for that card. I think this one came out super cute after a little rough start there. So we're on to card number 8. Whew, I feel like I'm running a marathon here. I'm talking so fast. So I'm going to place down my base. And then I used an old die set from one of the old kits that we got. I think this was like a Valentine's, one of the Valentine's kits, and I cut out my center. And this I'm using the paper that has the little words. It's real pretty. It's kind of delicate looking paper, and I just cut out the heart from the middle, and then I cut out another heart and some fun foam, and I'm popping the heart up on the fun foam just to give it a little bit of dimension, and then I'll place it right back into its spot right there where I pulled it out. We'll glue that down in there, and then we can start decorating around. So at first I wanted to use the hello in the middle, and then I changed my mind. I decided to go with the hello that's in the chipboard. So the little chipboard pieces that they gave us is a hello in there. It kind of looks like a license plate. So I placed that in there, and then the books and some more teacups. And now I'm just going to kind of do a little bit more. Use my gems again. For this one, I'm going to use the little pink ones and the little mint green ones. I'm just going to place them around. The gems have stickies on the bottom, but most of the time when I took it off, the sticky stayed on the plastic, so I ended up just using glue. So just place a few of those around. And that's going to do it for this card. I love the colors with the pink and the mint green. I think it looks really pretty. On to card number 9. So for this one, I'm going to kind of go fast, speed this up. So I'm just going to do a background with some distress ink and water. It's just kind of a little watercolor background. And I'm just using a little milled lavender, and then the bundled sage, and then I think spun sugar. And then I just go back through again, and I do some splatters of all three of the same colors. And then I've got my gold squid ink. Add a little water to that, splatter the gold all over the place too, because I think that gold just it just makes it look so pretty, especially when you have the gold, shiny gold paper that came in the kit as well. It goes really well with it. I'm also using a wonky stitch die. That's also a cat scrappiness die. I'm going to place my panel right in the middle. And then I'm going to do a little flower grouping and finally get to use that hello that I wanted to use in the last one. This heart is the center from the last card. And now I'm just going to kind of group stuff around that. So I've got the heart in the middle, and then I popped up the big flower in the front, and then I'm just going to glue the other ones around the outside. Just give me a nice little grouping. And it gives me a nice place to put that hello, because then you could just set it down right on top of it without having to figure out how to pop up that little tiny word. So I'm just using glue. I only put one of the foam adhesive in the center of that big flower so that I've got plenty of room to tuck and glue everything else underneath it. Just makes it easier. Finish gluing down the last couple pieces. This one I am going to have to pop up a little bit because it's going to kind of hang over. And I'm going to use the Love You, pop it up as well so it's even with the flowers. And then that way I can take the hello and I can just kind of lean it right on top of it and glue it right to the top. So I'm just going to place glue right along the bottom. And then a couple more gems. Place those around. And that's going to do it for this one. Show you a close up of this one. I think see how that gold? I think it just looks so pretty. And on to card number 10. So this one I'm just going to do, I wanted to do 4 squares. Well, kind of squares, they're more rectangle-ish. But then I had the idea that I see everybody doing this with the gold thread or the silver thread, and I thought, oh, I want to try that. So I kind of bunched it up behind on a piece of double-sided sticky tape. And then I think pretty much by the time I got done with it, you can't even see the thread because I put so much stuff in front of it. But it was a nice idea. I always wanted to try it. So I'm going to pop up my little letterboard sign in the middle and then kind of stuff some leaves around it. And then I want to let you guys know that this is the end of the 10 cards for the main kit. If you get the small and the large die, or you just want to see what I did with the small and the large die of the month, stick around because there's 5 more cards after this. I'm going to do 3 with the small die and 2 with the large. And then at the end I will run through all the cards, all 15 of them. So for this card I used the blue gems, which I thought that just looked really pretty with all these colors, and here's a close-up of that one. And now we're going to start doing the cards with the small die of the month. So for card number 1 on the small die, I am going to leave the backgrounds in, but I'm going to speed it up. So I took one of the moon die, and this is from the Crafter's Essential Fall set, and that's also another cat Scrappiness. And I just made myself like a little mask, which I put on, and now I'm just kind of going around it with some spooky nighttime colors that I picked out of my stash. I tried to leave right around the moon a little bit light so that it looked like it was kind of shining. And I just keep going around it, and now I pulled off my mask, and then this is what I cut it out of, so it kind of made a reverse mask. And now I'm going to add just a little bit of the gray and antique linen just to kind of give it that nighttime look. Spray some water on there. I've also got some white acrylic paint that I'm going to splatter across it for some stars, which some of my stars came out like they were shooting stars, but it's alright. Now I'm going to place my panel down on a black card base. I also have these birch tree dies from Lawn Fawn, and I cut out a whole bunch of them from shiny black paper. I'm just going to glue them down. I'm going to speed this up as well because I'm just going to be gluing. And I've got 3 of the ghosts from the small die, and I put black behind them so they have black eyes. And now I'm just kind of making like a spooky forest with them kind of peeking out around the different trees. So you can see how I kind of glued them down, then placed them, and then glued them permanently to their spot there. And that is how this little grouping is going to go. I think these ghosts are so stinking cute. And now I've got the word eek and boo, and I backed them with some purple sparkly paper. So it's purple on the bottom and then black on the top. And now I'm just going to glue those in place. And that's going to complete card number 1 with the small die. Super easy one. This one was really fun to do. I think the longest thing was the background. The rest of it was pretty quick. For card number 2, again I'm going to leave, I think I leave it in. I might not have left it in. I think I actually cut it out. I think I left that part in so you could see what colors I used in case you wanted to make it. But that's how the background came out. And then I cut out 3 and pieced together 3 of the little Halloween characters. And the Frankenstein, I made him, his parts don't really come in the kit, but you've got so many pieces from all the other kits that we get from Spellbinders that I took a shirt from one of the other kits that we got. I think it was that same one from Valentine's Day, and I just made like a little black shirt for Frankenstein to wear, made his skin green, and then the Eekaboo has little dashes in between Eek and Boo, and I took the little dashes and I put them in his neck like bolts, so he looks like a Frankenstein. And then I just did the little skeleton and another ghost. And then these are more Crafter's Essential dies. That's that same Crafter's Essential Fall, where you get the tree and the spooky fence, and then that little bat comes in that one. There's a bunch of other stuff that comes in that die set as well, but those just happen to be the ones I grabbed for this one. And now I'm just going to pop up my little trick-or-treaters right in the middle. And then I'm going to take Boo. I cut out Boo from that black paper, and I'm just going to place that up right over their heads, kind of at a little bit of an arch. And that is going to complete card number 2. So cute. Here's a close-up of this one. I love these guys. See the little bolts in his neck? I think he just came out so stinking adorable. So for card number 3, I am using Distressed Edge die, and I did another background using some of those. I think this one was the orange and a couple purples that I used for this one. And then I made some little monsters. So instead of doing a red devil, I did a pink one, and then I cut that same out of the purple and turned her into a little monster. And then my ghost has 2 different colored socks on. And then I did the same thing this time, but I used orange and purple for Eekaboo. And now I'm going to pop up all 3 of my little trick-or-treaters, and I have them holding hands. Well, sort of hands. This one's holding a candy bucket. And that is going to complete this card. Super cute. These cards came together really fast because I love paper piecing, and so I love when these dies come with all these little pieces that you can put together and just kind of play with. It's so much fun to me. So this one's going to be a bigger card because I'm using the large die of the month, and the mushroom is kind of large. So if you were going to use all of these characters on one card, I feel like the larger the card, the better off you are. So this is a 5x7 card, and I cut out that circle in the middle and popped up that piece on some fun foam, so that way it gives a little bit of dimension in the background. And then I created all the little characters from the dies that came in the kit. So you've got the mushroom, and I made 2 of those squirrels holding a bunch of nuts, and I made 2 of the gnomes, one sitting and one standing. The sentiment I took out of the Lawn Fawn stamp set that has all the gnomes in it. I can't think of the name of it right off the top of my head, but I think in the next video I actually have it sitting on the desk. So he's going to have a little pile of nuts in his hand. The one on top is just holding one. Cut out a whole bunch of these. So he's going to have a little balancing act going there. And then put one down by the gnome that's standing on the side there. I'm going to place my sentiment right underneath that gnome's feet. So he's standing on something. There's gnome place like home. And then the little sitting one is going to go right up there on the edge of the mushroom. I'm going to pop him up so he's sitting right on the edge there. And that's going to complete this card. It's a close up of this one. I think they're so cute. And for the last card of all this, I'm just going to do, this is a normal A2 size card. And I'm using, there's a, what do you call that, banner, stitched banner in that Crafter's Essential Fall set. And that's what I used to put the sentiment on both cards. And now I'm using some stitched oval dies. And I used it to cut out both pieces, the grass and the focal panel for my little characters. I'm going to place the little hilly grass right there at the bottom, just to have something for them to be standing on. And this is the paper that I used. It's an older paper pad. Sometimes you can find it still at Tuesday Morning, but I haven't really seen it anywhere else. But it's a Pebbles paper pad. Now I'm going to place down my background piece, and I thought these oranges were super cute. But that's how, that paper pad is how I picked also the papers that I used to cut out my dies. So that's a fall set by Gina K of cardstock. So that's how I matched up all of my papers with my little gnomes. So I popped up my focal part in the middle, and I'm gonna kind of pop up part of my sentiment. There's no one like you. And now I'm just gonna, I also made a sign. I wanted to try to use all the dies, so at least once, and there was a sign die in there, but I didn't really know what to put on the sign, so I just put a little white heart. I was gonna have the squirrel holding the sign, but then I changed my mind and shifted some stuff around, ended up with the sign just between the two gnomes. And I'm just gonna place them down directly onto the panel. I love these dies. This kit is it's just unbelievable. I love this whole kit. It's very, very easy to put all these cards together. I wasn't struggling for ideas at all. Of course, little squirrel's going to be holding his little acorn. And then I'll put a couple more around the scene here. And that is going to complete all of my 15 cards. Here's a little close-up of this one. And then I will kind of quickly run through all 15 cards. I'll kind of break them up so that you see them in the order that they were, kind of in the order they were completed in. But here's the ones from the main kit. I just want to let you guys know that I really, really do appreciate you guys hanging around and watching these videos and thumbs upping and commenting. I love hearing from you. So please, if I don't get back and answer right away, it's because I do work. I work full time, and sometimes I don't get to get on here and answer right away, but I try to always get on and answer any questions, or just even just let you know that I read it with a, with a heart or something, because I really do love it when you guys comment on my videos. It makes me feel really good. And also, there'll be links below to the new blog where I'll have pictures of all of this. Now I will show you the last 5 from the small and the large die, and then let you know that I will see you again on Friday with another video from the Cat Scrappiness shop. And again, thank you so much for stopping by. I really, really, really do appreciate it. And I hope you guys get some good ideas from these little samples here, and I will see you again real soon. Have a wonderful weekend. Bye-bye.